Yahweh Shema Arthur Bashem Yahushua. This is Priest and Captain Shema Walla of ISBK under Commander John Yohana. Bringing to you live one more time for ISBK Queens. Cornelius. A lot of people like to read the story of Cornelius, think that white people can be saved. That's what a lot of people want to do. They want to save our oppressor. You never hear it say, but what about the Chinese man or Japanese or the Arab or the East Indian? It's always our oppressor that everybody wants to save. And people like to run to Cornelius and think that because instead of the Italian band, that means that to my white people. That's not what it's talking about. So we're gonna get a few scriptures on Cornelius. We're gonna start with Acts 10 and 2. Slakia. 10 verse 1. There was a certain man in Caesarea called Cornelius, a centurion of the band called the Italian band. So people see that the Italian band, they automatically think that Cornelius was a white person. That's not true. Italian band means like he's in the Italian army. Like just like today, we have blacks, Hispanic, Native Americans in the Army, Navy, Marines, FBI, CIA, SWAT team, all of that. But that doesn't make us these people. That doesn't make us descendants of George Washington. We just Israelites in our oppressors' armed forces. Verse 2. A devout man. Slakia. We're going to Acts 18 and 2 to break down more about the Italian band. 18 and 2. Just give you an example. 18 verse 2. After these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy. See that? A certain Jew called Aquila, who was born in Pontus, lately come from Italy. So he was a Jew, but he was born in Italy. Just like I'm a Jew. I'm from the tribe of Benjamin, but I was born here in America. I was born in New York, USA. But that doesn't make me descendant of George Washington. I'm not related to George Washington or Benjamin Franklin. My lineage goes back to the 12 tribes of the nation of Israel. I'm just a citizen in this land. Go back to we're gonna go to Acts 2 and 25. 22 and 5. 22, Slakia. 22 verse 25. 22 verse 25. And they bound him with thongs. Paul said unto the centurion that stood by, is it lawful for you to scourge a man that is a Roman and uncondemned? You see that? Paul was using wisdom. He says, "This is lawful." He says, "A man who's a Roman, because he's a Roman citizen." But remember, in Romans 11 and 1, let's get Paul's registry. Paul said this: "I say then, have God cast away his people? God forbid. For I also am an Israelite of the seed of Abraham, of the tribe of Benjamin." See, Paul was a Benjamite. He was a so-called West Indian. But he was also a Roman citizen. He was just using wisdom. Paul wasn't Roman and Israel. Bible don't contradict himself. Paul was using wisdom. Like I might get pulled over and I show my New York driver's license. I can show my social security card, my passport. I'm a U.S. citizen. But I'm not related to I'm not of America. I'm descendant of America Vespucci. My lineage goes back to Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. I'm an Israelite. Paul was doing the same thing. We go back to Acts 10 and 2. A devout man, one that feared God with all his house, which gave much alms to the people and prayed to God always. See, a devout man. Let's get that word devout. Acts 2 and 5. Acts 2 verse 5. And there were dwelling at Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under heaven, because we were scattered abroad. We wasn't just in Jerusalem anymore, in the land of Israel anymore. The 9.5 tribe was scattered all throughout Galatia, Ephesus, Corinth. We was all over the place. But we wasn't born in, a lot of us wasn't born in Jerusalem. We wasn't born in our homeland. But our lineage still goes back to that homeland. That's why that word devout. Our oppressor cannot be devout. We go to Acts 22, verse 12. Acts 22 and 12. And one Ananias, a devout man, according to the law, having a good report of all the Jews which dwelt there. See, a devout man according to the law. Who had the law? Israelites, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we had the law. And Ananias was a devout man according to the law because he kept the law, statutes, and commandments. So that's what Cornelius. He was a devout man. Cornelius was not a white man. He was an Israelite who was not born in Jerusalem. He was scared. He was one of the scattered abroad, but he was a devout man. He wanted to come back to the truth. We're gonna go to Romans. No. We're gonna go to Acts 10 and 22. And they said Cornelius, the centurion, a just man, and one that with fear of God, and of good report among all the nation of the Jews, was warned from God by a holy angel to send forth thee into his house, to hear the words of thee. See that? He's a good report of all the Jews. Even though he was a police officer, but he wasn't a corrupt centurion. He wasn't corrupt. He did his job. Like how it says in the book of Luke, when it says somebody who's a soldier, do harm to no man, do harm to do no harm to anybody. He was a Jew. He was trying to come back to the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what he was doing. So Cornelius was not a white man. Now tomorrow, when I see you tomorrow, Lord allow, we can go to the food part. Because a lot of people read Cornelius and think you can eat whatever you want to eat, because it says what they call common, but thou cleanse, call not thou common. That's not what that's talking about. So when Lord allow, if I come in line tomorrow, we talk about that part of Cornelius too. That people think they can eat whatever they want to eat. That's not true. You cannot eat whatever you want to eat. You have to keep the dietary law in Leviticus 11 chapter. That's not what Cornelius talk about. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, that's my time. Hey, please pay your tithes. Pay your tithes. Give that money up. Give that 10% up. Pay your tithes. Go to ispk.com and pay your tithes. That's me. I'm Captain Shema of ISPK Queens under command Junior Hana. Shalom.